I be really honest for just a moment? Um, I knew I'd have to make a video talking about the Tekken Talk and stuff we saw leading up to the season 2, Tekken 8 coming next week, and obviously the stuff we saw in Tekken Talk and whatever, right? I just watched back some of the stuff. Like I slept with it, I was thinking for a bit, and I was like, okay, and then I was like, I'm not gonna make a video immediately, I'm not just gonna make a video of my reaction. I wanted to do an actual discussion and think about what we saw and think on it, right? But I really just didn't want to. I'll be so honest. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this because I just watched back some of the stuff and I didn't like anything I saw. I'll be honest. There were very few things I saw that I liked yesterday from the Tekken Talk. The Jin nerfs, up forward 2 is unsafe, 2-1-4 is unsafe, down 2 is not a counter hit launcher. Me personally, I would have said it just doesn't need to be homing, but sure, those are some good changes. But like every buff that they show, you know, this is a video that someone posted, I think Seth posted on Twitter. This explains my thoughts on what happened on the Tekken Talk yesterday. So like they show enough of, they show some, like for example King, they showed muscle armor is nerf, which is a good thing. And they're just like, now here are the buffs, and it's like they showed Yoshimitsu buffs yesterday. And my main question I have to ask is, who was that Tekken Talk for yesterday? Like I'm genuinely confused who it was for, because like a lot of the buffs that they showed King and Yoshimitsu buff. They showed Jin buffs yesterday. Like, sure, we all knew every character will be getting nerfed and buffed in some aspects. Like, no one's going to be just nerfed or just buffed. That's how season changes normally go. There's, you know, there's some sort of balance, but it's just whether or not there's more nerfs or more buffs. That's normally how it goes. But don't show us in the Tekken Talk for season 2. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see Jin getting access to more 50-50s and stance mix-ups. We don't want to see King doing a while standing 2-2 punish into Jaguar sprint into the powered up heat version when he's not in heat. This is not the stuff we wanted to see. And I think what has left the Tekken community so bamboozled right now, and what has left people so upset, is this from yesterday, which was, I don't know what this is on my screen here. There's just a bar. That's about. For season 2, we'd like to focus on defense in terms of the lateral aspects of a 3D fighting game. Yesterday, well, 2 days ago, this dropped on EVE FGC with the main devs talking about season 2, what they want to do for defense, buffing movement. They even mentioned something about like a 30% health change. We're doing a particular thing when you're in heat and taking a lot of damage on the ground. We're adding the ability to recover about 30% health from the actual damage inflicted. So they mentioned this stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to, I think a lot of people were like, they're going to expand upon this and tell us what this means for season 2 at the Tekken Talk. They mentioned, you know, being able to buffer sidesteps now in season 2. They mentioned being able to step into the foreground. And this is a lot of defensive stuff we were worried about. Like, what's this going to mean going to season 2? This is the good stuff. We want to see defense buff. We want to see the 50-50s not so potent, and we don't have to deal with them as much. Like, surely they'll tell us about it in Tekken Talk, and they didn't say anything about it. They just showed us buffs. They showed us King buffs and Yoshimitsu buffs and Zafina buffs, and Zafina has an install now, and Jun has an install now, and 50-50 stance mix-ups, and Anna has a safe low that does 60 damage in heat. You know, like I don't know what I don't, who was that Tekken Talk for yesterday? Like, there's this theory, and someone left a comment on one of my videos, I think my video reacting to this, saying that there's a theory that like they just want new players to play the game and win. That's it. They're trying to cater solely towards the new players, because even in this video, Harada mentioned how it was weird that veteran players were the ones who seem to be complaining the most, and and like it's hard. It's like, I'm trying not to be dramatic, and I'm trying not to be negative and spread bad vibes, right? because I do want this game to be successful. I do want more people to play Tekken 8, and I do want everyone to enjoy it. And you know, because there's a net positive for everyone if the game is good. But I've not seen a single person respond positively to yesterday's Tekken Talk. The only positive sentiment I saw people put out wasn't, it's not even a positive sentiment, it's just wait for the patch notes. That's the only thing. I'm of that same belief right now, but I didn't see anyone say I like this change, I like this change, this is good. It was they nerfed key charge setups, which I obviously that's a huge blow to me, you know. And that's indicative of another thing they've been doing in Tekken, where they even, so when they showed the nerf to key charge setups, they showed Hwoarang doing it. Hwoarang key charge into down back forward doesn't give him the key charge, doesn't give him the count hit anymore. And it seems a case of where they are aware of something being strong for a character, and instead of nerfing it for the character, they just take it away completely. Like in Tekken 7, they nerfed jump over setups because Akuma was so strong with jump over setups. So they, instead of nerfing Akuma in that aspect, they took away jump over setups completely. And it was funny because Akuma could still do his jump over setups. He was the only one that could do them. And it's like, it makes you question, do they know how to take things out or improve things, or like it really raises questions. But my sort of saving grace right now, you know, if you watch the Tekken Talk, is they showed a lot of stuff like is this the Devil Jin doing, oh, my sound is coming through the wrong thing.
Unblockable.
So yeah, Devil Jin has this new unblockable from Morning Crow, you know, which is interesting, right? But one thing they showed, so look at this. So Devil Jin has his laser scraper kick. It didn't knock down in Tekken 8. It now knocks down again. And he can now do that into Morning Crow stance mix-up. And if we move forward, swiftly forward, onto King. Let's see, where is it? So they showed King doing, so they showed the muscle armor nerf. King now has a knockdown into a stance 50-50 mix-up. And it's this homogenization of the cast. It's everyone doing the same thing. It's everyone getting access to 50% and being the same, and removing weaknesses in this aspect that I think people are really getting tired of. I know I personally am getting really tired of it. And another thing they showed, something I've been very vocal about not liking, is characters having running threes, running slash kicks into stance mix-up. Yoshimitsu has it, Eddie has it. Some character had it before, like Lee, he had his running 3-4 into Hitman stance, but like, it was something only certain characters had. And now more and more and more characters are getting access to running slash kicks, so running plus on block mid into stance mix up. And if I can find, I should have set this up beforehand, but like I just didn't want to. I just couldn't bother to watch the Tekken Talk again. I was so scared. But like, if you see Jin here, so they're gonna show in a second, running 3 into stance mix up. Like, it's creating such a, like, I think it's just boring. Personally, I think it's boring. Every character is doing slash kick into stance mix up. Like, you're being punished for blocking. And also they mentioned nerf chip damage. That's still quite a bit of chip damage for a blocked running 3. Jin's not in rage, he's not in heat. This is just the generic chip damage for blocking running 3. And now you're on -12 and you have to take the stance mix up. And you know, he can also do a wave dash from the start, so he can cancel the stance into a wave dash. And it's like everyone is doing the same thing now. You're being punished for blocking. Like, they just made every character, they've made so many characters just good at attacking. And it feels like that's the only thing they want people to do in this game, is be good at attacking. And I'm not trying to doom and gloom, and I'm not trying to be overly negative. I'm just saying what I see. You know, more characters getting running slash kick into stance mix up, characters getting knocked down. We just saw we just saw King and Devil Jin. The buffs they've added to the character is knockdown into 50-50 stance mix up. And I said this almost a year ago now, when we got one of our first ever balance patches. It said for them, when it seemed like for them to, the only way they knew how to buff characters was to add 50-50s. So Shaheen, for example, they buffed his 4-2-3, where it was knockdown plus 20, and you have to guess, you have to take a mix up now. So to buff a character, they add 50-50s. To nerf a character, they just took away 50-50s. That is how it seemed to be their philosophy when it came to balance. That's all they really knew what they were doing. And it just seems like we're getting more of it here, because again, a lot of the buffs we saw, for example, Yoshimitsu, they showed a Yoshimitsu buff where he can now do he has this new move, right? He has this new move, if we're gonna see it. So this is Yoshimitsu's new move, which puts him at +9 in flea stance for a mix-up. He hits you 50-50 stance mix-up. Now it's I-17, so it's not really a block punish, but like we don't know where it's safe, it's unsafe, etc, etc. But that's just the example of what we're talking about. You've been hit 50-50 stance mix-up. And Yoshimitsu, another character that they added a running slash kick into 50-50 stance mix-up, which is something I'm not a fan of. But I don't know if they when they showed it. But Yoshimitsu also, and this was a quick thing they showed basically, but Yoshimitsu's wild standing 1 is now I-13. So he now has access to quite a decent I-13 wild standing punish, when previously that was one of Yoshimitsu's weaknesses. You could be a bit more unsafe with the lows you choose to use against Yoshimitsu, because he didn't have the best while standing punishments. Okay, I'm going to be a bit, that's the strategy against Yoshimitsu. I'll be a bit more unsafe with the lows I use, because he can't really punish me heavily into I-14, I-15. Now he has a while standing I-13 punish. It's like, why are we now removing weaknesses? Why are we removing weaknesses, making attacking easier? Everyone is doing the same thing. Like, this is what, from what we have seen, from what we have to go off, from the information they have shown us, there's a reason people are worried. There's a reason why people are complaining. There's a reason why the only positive sentiment I saw was just wait for the patch notes. And again, I'm in that same camp. I do believe we just have to wait and see for the patch notes. Like my cope, I guess, in this situation is they decided to show the exciting, flashy stuff right for, excuse me, for the Tekken Talk. They're showing the exciting stuff. They're showing knockdown, stance mix-ups, 50-50, heat engage into crouch. Anna has a plus on block low that does chip damage. They're showing all of this because they're like, okay, well, maybe the general audience is watching Tekken Talk. They wanted to show the stuff that's exciting. Then when it comes to the nerdy stuff, the defense, buff movement, they're like, we're going to put that in the patch notes because maybe that's other people really care about, and we'll save that for the patch notes, and when the game comes out we get that into people's hands. Like, that is how I'm coping with this situation. But at the end of the day, the buffs seem scary. It seems like they're like, I hate to say it, but it just feels like they're not listening to the community. They're not listening to the feedback. Like, again, we are seeing Harada and Michael Murray engage on Twitter, but it seems like they're only replying to the unhinged guys that are saying all sorts of crazy stuff. That they reply to them and they're like, well, you're wrong, but then the properly constructed feedback is not replied to. It seems to be ignored and they don't say anything about it. So it's worrying. Like, are they paying attention to what the community actually wants? And is actually, because sometimes it's the case like, hey, the community doesn't actually know what they want, they don't know what's good. But we played this game for over a year now. We know what is overtuned, what needs to go, what we're not fans of. Like, there's a lot of stuff the community is just generally not fans of, and we seem to not like, but they are doubling down on it by buffing Yoshimitsu and knockdown into stance mix up, and like, it's crazy because in the Tekken Talk before this, they talked about nerfing chip damage, but Anna's debuff makes it so every move she does applies chip damage regardless of heat. So, and that's something they're going to be bringing to other characters down the line. That's something they're going to do. And chip damage as well still seems pretty good. So I don't know. Like, I didn't want to do a little run video. I already got my Tekken 8 run out of the way, but I guess this was another one here because, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Like, I want this game to be good. I want to enjoy it. I want you guys to enjoy it. I want to make good content. I want to make content that you guys enjoy and enjoy watching. But it's hard to do with the prospect of more of the same for another year of this game. Like, as I just like, I was watching back the Tekken Talk and I was just like, this is so much. We're just like, I've not seen I had a little talk with Joker after my stream on his stream. He was echoing the same thoughts. just asking people like their thoughts, and no one seems to like this direction. So I just have to wonder, who was this Tekken Talk for? Like, that's my main question. Who was this for? Who were they trying to entertain? You know, it's not the hardcore Tekken fans. Casuals don't even seem to like this. We just gotta wait and see. You know, when those patch notes hit, I'll be paying very close attention to them. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be all from me in this video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Season 2 is about a week away. We'll get those patch notes around that time. I'll catch you guys in the next video.